Hello everybody, officially my first video of the season where I specifically talk about the Cowboys and my expectations for the season. I did stream the game on Saturday, but YouTube didn't send the notifications out, so whatever. So let's get this thing going. Again, I apologize for, I think it was like five months off. I'm telling you, man, if I don't feel like posting to social media, I won't post to social media. All right, I am extreme. This is what I mainly said when I was doing the live show this weekend. I am generally very high on the Dallas Cowboys this year. And there's several reasons. One, because no one expects us to do anything. I love that one. I love that. But number two, I love our talent. I love the talent that we have on the field. And I think if we get everybody back and everybody healthy, it would be a totally different football team than what we witnessed last year. I know the defense gets beaten up for last year, and of course we didn't have a great defense. But when you couple a bad defense with a bad offense, the defense gets terrible. You know what I'm saying? Because it has no offense to support it. This year, we should have an offense to support that defense and, make that defense a lot better than it was last year, simply because they're getting to play with an offense that hopefully will play different. Okay, I'll get into that. Quarterback, Dak Prescott. Am I worried? No. I think that, and this is my logic brain acting here. He was rehabbing like crazy coming back from the injury, because you know the personality. He's going to work hard to get back. When you're doing that, you're expending so much energy, and working out is hard every day, going and hitting and all that kind of stuff. So right now, before the season, he needed a break. He needed to rest that arm, break, and that little twing that he did was an excuse to sit Dak down and throttle him down until the season starts. There's hardly any quarterbacks playing in the preseason. I don't know why everybody, Dak needs to play because of the snaps. They're not real snaps. The preseason snaps aren't real snaps. They're not. You don't go against the ones or all the ones. You don't get the plays that they're going to do in real. It's just not real football. It's for another purpose. So quarterbacks, like starting quarterbacks that don't play in the preseason, it doesn't bother me a bit, because this season, and this is why I'm really high, this is my number one. I think that we have to play a very conservative brand of football this year because of Dak Prescott. Because there's many reasons. You got his shoulder. You don't want to put too many reps on his shoulder, and then toward the end of the season, you see him being less accurate and things like that. You don't want his ankle, because remember he's got that bothering him too. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to stress him of that. And then thirdly, you don't want to stress him to where you can't play him in one single game, because we have failed to address the backup quarterback position. You can't tell me, any of you out there can tell me, we're going against San Diego next week, but Dak can't play. I think Gilbert can do it. Or I think Rush can do it. They can't do it. You don't have to say, I think they can do it. They can't do it. You saw them last year. You saw all these quarterbacks, and the best one that we had last year is in Chicago right now, losing his job. You know what I'm saying? So if we didn't upgrade the backup, then we have to really take care of that starting quarterback. How do we do that? Hike. Then when that doesn't work, hike, 3-step, bam, Cooper. That 3-step, bam. Do not get Dak Prescott touched. Keep everything very short and simple. Take shots down the field, of course, to keep the defense, but let our big boys, our Zeke, our new, fit, looking good, shifty Zeke, let him do what he needs to do. Because then, if their thing is working, then all Dak has to do is this. Just toss. Here you go, CD. Here you go, Mark Cooper. That's all you have to do at the quarterback position if the offensive line is hitting, if Zeke is hitting, if Cooper and CD are getting open. Everything is going to work for you. So there's no no reason to make Dak play like he did before he earlier hurt his ankle. You heard me, I was crying. I'm like, nobody wants Dak to throw 400 yards a game. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense for our offense and where our offense is set up. It don't make any sense for where our defense is, for him to throw that many times. But that is the way our offense has been. So that brings me over to my one main issue. I talked about our defense. I know everybody's worried about our defense, but I think our offense is going to help that out. My issues really don't lie on the football field this year. My issues are with the coaching staff, with Kellen Moore. Is he going to be pass happy like that? Are we going to have a Dak with the injured shoulder and a Dak with the injured leg going out there still throwing the ball 40 and 50 times? Are we going to have that this year? Are we going to have, man, McCarthy is a horrible speaker. I said, we don't know how good McCarthy is, man. Well, he was in the Super Bowl with for me, the best quarterback, most talented quarterback I've ever seen, Aaron Rodgers. He's been in the Super Bowl with him. He hadn't been without him. You know, so we don't know what Mike McCarthy is. And I'm telling you, for me watching him on Hard Knocks, I don't want to run through a wall for that guy. I really don't. So we'll see what these guys are going to do for the coaching staff. But those are that's my number one issue, or my number one worry for this season coming up. It's not our secondary. I know what you're supposed to think, our secondary sucks or whatever, but we got some young dogs back there. We got some young guys that don't know they're bad. They don't know they don't know anything, and they're tall, they're athletic, and they're ball hawks. Even you look at our defense last year, some turnovers that we don't ever hardly get. So that is cool. That is cool back there. The linebackers, I ain't even gonna talk about. We got the best linebacker. I've never seen us with this deep of a linebacker class. Jeez. And defensive line, pass rushing or whatever, that's probably our weakest as far as talent-wise, in my opinion. Maybe, no, we got DeMarcus Lawrence back there, maybe not. But I like a very, very stout defensive line, and that's my main worry on defense is my defensive line or whatnot. So that's where I am with us in the division. I think that's why I'm high on us, because I really think that we're the best team in the division. You know, Philly's got problems. You know, Philly's just got problems. I don't believe that they're gonna be able to go back to where they were a few years ago in a drop of a hat. They're gonna have to rebuild that thing. The Giants. To be honest, I think the Giants are going to have to go with another quarterback. They're going to give Daniel Jones another chance, but I think Daniel Jones is going to fall into the league as a backup quarterback somewhere else, and they're going to work with another quarterback coming through, and then they may be. But the Giants did have a better defense last year. I will give him that. That with Saquon Barkley coming back can be a thing. And then Washington is everybody's darling right now. Washington is what everybody's talking on TV and talking about on TV. And I don't get how you think Washington, if Washington was this much better than Dallas last year, how Ryan Fitzpatrick puts Washington way over Dallas when Dak Prescott only brings Dallas up to here. I don't understand how Dak Prescott doesn't equal more wins than Ryan Fitzpatrick. And if you say the defense for the Washington Redskins, I'll tell you this, and this is what I've been saying all my life when I talk about football. Ryan Fitzpatrick is probably one of the worst quarterbacks that you can put with that defense of the Washington Redskins. With that defense, you saw it in the playoff. With that defense, that little running back playing quarterback last year that could barely throw, but he was getting busy. He was holding on to the football. He wasn't turning over the football. And that's what type of offense they need to go with the defense in Washington. Ryan Fitzpatrick, yeah, he's going to throw a couple of games for 400 yards. Then he's going to throw 4 interceptions. I mean, it's just like he's going to be out there so, doing, of course, they're going to be all over the highlights and things of that sort. But, probably going to end up like 8-8 maybe, probably a little less than that. But I don't see them as being they're a threat now. Because if Ryan Fitzpatrick was a threat, he would have won the AFC East, and you know what I'm saying, with the Miami defense and things of that sort. So I'm not really worried about Fitzpatrick in Washington or any of them, they just talk noise on TV. I mean, Dan Orlovsky they're pumping Carson Wentz up. And I'm like, how are you people still pumping Carson Wentz up? How are you saying, oh, with Carson Wentz, the Colts can be a top 4 team in the AFC? What are you talking about? Because if he gets back to that one string of good games that he had a long time ago. So I can't get with what they're talking on TV. Wait till Carson Wentz actually does something and then talk about him. Don't continuously talk him up when he's been that bad. And then saying he's going to win. I'll leave this. Dan Orlovsky said that Carson Wentz would be the player of the comeback player of the year before Dak Prescott could be comeback player of the year. Man, turn ESPN off. All right, guys. I'll let you. Peace.